The Ohaio is a tier 10 freemium, a ship America would make if the Japanese didn't start the carrier trend back in World War II. Think about how fun naval warfare be without planes. You have seen the one true chart. This is the extension of that, the closest thing to the American dream. And you can get it by throwing enough money at the screen. But don't claim victory without knowing what you're doing. The main highlight are the 8 457mm guns, which may look underwhelming due to how important shell volume is, but on today's trend of everything countering everything, this is completely acceptable. It won't just overmatch cruisers, it chucks triple digit worth of HP from at least 2 penetrations, not counting potential citadel that will mentally hurt people desire to play this game any longer. It has decent accuracy. If you get bad dispersion, that's just the game trying to compensate your shitty aim. And if everything else fail, you load HE and go impersonate a Thunderer. This is why expert loader is necessary, so you can have the right shell every time. And it's even better if you have Halsey as the commander. But if that's the case, why not just play Thunderer, which has arguably better accuracy, with faster reload, and bullshit HE, or the Kante Kessin if you don't wanna think. This is because Ohaio sits smack dab in the middle of white people's scale of politically correct ship, which is how much freedom it gets, literally. Along with big guns, it has stupid fast turret, most likely achieved by using lots of WD-40 and Chinese immigrants, allowing it to win close quarters with any BB foolish enough to get too close. And by having Montana hull, it gets 38mm plating, good enough to prevent it from getting skinned by Japanese steel. Oh, and it turns faster too because reasons. If that is not enough, you get the buffed secondaries, and while it cannot pen anything, the rate of fire is enough trouble to any BB, and it is all possible without investing valuable points. Are you happy now? But it doesn't stop there. The repair party cooldown is half of those found on normal BB, means it can absorb more damage during intense and often decisive moments. It is made to punch flanks and swallow the enemy fleet. To do this, you must close the distance without taking much damage, using islands for cover, or by being far enough for anyone to bother. But pay attention to cheeky snipers. Hold on, isn't that what German BBs can should must do if you aren't being a pussy and telling people to snipe? Yes, that is true. But such ship requires more stupidity to quantify its usefulness. The Ohaio meanwhile can brute force anything like how America talk their way out of problems, because according to American education the word brain always comes after muscle. You want to deal with those HE spammer first, in any means possible. If one is not already crippled or dead, you should not advance. After that you can do whatever you want to set flank. The only time where it becomes a pushover is when carrier decide to focus your ass. But AA never mattered anyway, and you can always snipe carriers in return because they deserve it. You should also be wary of torpedo demons, but having 10 kilometers of secondary should be a good enough buffer against them. This is how to avoid losing 16 games in a row like Ohaio sports team. You get expert loader for that sweet 8 seconds reload with Halsey. Then you take adrenaline rush, superintendent, and fire prevention. Then get basic of survivability, conceal, and high alert. For the upgrades you get main armament 1, Damakan 1, secondary battery mod 1, Damakan 2, concealment, and artillery plotting 2 for that sweet accuracy. If something like Slava is a ship equivalent of nerds with computers, the Ohaio is a commando. If you can convince your team to push with you, it is an unstoppable manifest destiny, and achieving the American dream. Something the Germans doesn't get, because the last time Germany had a dream the world wasn't so happy about it. Now go out there and claim that you single-handedly end the world war.
時思い出して